So around that local leadership, firstly, alignment and focus. And these things are linked together. I believe, I don't suppose many people here would disagree, that we have simply produced a system that is too complex. There is always a reason why a minister should stand up and announce a new initiative. There are rarely reasons why ministers should stand up and announce that they've cut 6 or 7 to make it easier to focus on the key task. We've got to do that now. Now's the time to get the political debate shifted around simplification and streamlining delivery. 2 thoughts, total place and total capital. I don't know if you've heard about these ideas, but total place is the idea that all of the revenue streams coming into a local authority, whether it's education, health, housing, should be corralled and taken as a whole. And we have built on that in the HCA to look at a concept of total capital. It frustrates us daily that if you're building new homes, new affordable homes, new private sector homes, it's very difficult to link up with the hospitals you need, the schools you need, the health provision, the transport provision. We would like to look at all of the capital investments in an area in a single place, and we believe that will generate considerable efficiencies. And we have 5 total capital pilots in place: Birmingham, Durham, Greater Manchester, Leicestershire and Leicester City and Swindon. And they are already revealing that we get huge efficiencies if, through the single conversation, we use local authorities to corral investment in an area and see housing in its wider infrastructure context. And by the way, to see health and education funding in their wider housing context. Also, very important to simplify the housing offer. We are moving in the HCA to look at to review the intermediate market and consider a much simpler intermediate market offer than the current products that are out there now. That's the subject of a whole different speech. I haven't got time to get into that now, but again, we could cover it in questions later. I believe that the horizon is too cluttered. It would be great if we could get to a situation where those needing an intermediate product could simply go to a single website, answer a couple of short questions, and get to one or two products that are fitted exactly for them. Simplification, and you'll see there's huge overlap between these themes. A single model, focus on a single model also means simplification. But I do want to pick up one issue here, standards. We currently in the HCA inherited a series of different standards for the quality of our housing. The Housing Corporation standards, the English Partnership standards, and actually a series of specific standards around other elements of the programmes we brought into one place. We want to produce a single set of open and transparent standards because quality is key to this. There is no point meeting this housing challenge with low-quality housing that will not last. We'll simply have to do it again in a few years' time. And we are going shortly to be out to a consultation on a single set of standards with a very strong evidence base. It's not going to be the sort of consultation you're perhaps used to. The document's going to be very slim and very open. It's going to lock into all of the evidence we've used on our website, so you can pull our thinking out, and it's there available for you to draw on. It'll be a full 3-month consultation period, and it's based around the idea of a housing calculator, so that instead of having a set of standards, you put your scheme together, we apply the standards, and we come back and tell you whether you've met our standards or not. You will be able to use a very simple web-based tool to put the details of your project in, and you will know before you come to us whether you've met our standards or not. That's clear, it's simple, it's easier to operate, and it will improve the quality of product. Leverage. Huge amount, I could say here, but I have 4 minutes and 29 seconds left. So, I will just raise the topic. In December 2009, we launched in the HCA a consultation paper which set out the options for the recovery and recycling of grant funding of LCHO schemes. And under the proposal, the investor in affordable housing would share risk with providers, but also benefit when property values rise. There's no current proposal, by the way, to change the recycling arrangements which apply to homes for social rent. And that move, such a move, could see part of the agency's National Affordable Housing Programme allocated to housing associations as an investment rather than as a grant, resulting in a future return direct to the HCA, which then could be reinvested in affordable housing where it is needed most. It's a way of making our funding work harder, doing more with less, if you like, and taking a return on our investment linked to an uplift in property values. If my analysis is right, if land values are low but are going to rise, we should all, as a sector, be getting a share of that. I do not want to see that lost out of affordable housing. And the current consultation actually sets out 3 options how we might approach this in future. If you're interested, please do look at it. Please do respond. It runs until the 15th of March, so there's time to respond. And it will, following changes, responses to the consultation, we'll be introducing changes in the new financial year. So do have a look at that. Joint ventures, another way to add value in our affordable housing delivery. For instance, in Gateshead, we're working with the council to promote what they call the big opportunity in the borough, and it will see the council procure a partner to secure the delivery of more than 2,000 new homes over a 20-year period, bringing together 19 sites in a single joint venture so we can lever in added value from those sites, secure regeneration benefits in other parts of the borough, and actually use the weaker sites to strengthen the stronger ones. If we look at individual sites and individual delivery in isolation, it's always going to be more costly. I believe joint ventures, particularly around local authorities, could be the way forward. And thirdly, procurement. We want to use the potential, the buying potential of the HCA, the huge economic potential of the HCA to drive better value for money out of the procurement process for the RSL sector. For instance, procurement clubs. We think there's a lot that we in the HCA can do to reduce your running costs and your overheads. Definitely not got time to go into the existing stock yet. Stock now. All I can say here is we must not forget the importance of the existing stock. We have run a number of ideas around the existing stock, for instance, the Low Carbon Infrastructure Fund, looking at the importance of that stock to contributing to the low carbon targets. And the whole house approach is the key to that. And the principal funding and delivery vehicle for the forthcoming home energy management strategy, which is out to consultation last year, and we're going to be hearing from the government about it very soon. The key to that is the carbon emissions reduction target obligations on utility companies. And we have a number of ideas in the HCA for using that new source of investment to bring forward a whole house approach to the existing stock. Finally, innovation, some ideas. I mentioned that falling land values offer us an opportunity, but I also mentioned that private landowners are reluctant to bring land, to crystallise the value in that land. Public land, therefore, must come first. And I'm responsible for the Public Land Initiative. And the first 3 sites were announced on the 17th of February. Basically, the idea is that we defer the value in that land. We don't seek an upfront value in the land. We recover the payment through the sale of homes, and we open up the market to greater competition. We have a new private rented sector initiative underway. High deposit requirements hinder access to home ownership. So we're looking to actually grow the private sector by bringing in institutional finance into that sector. So, in conclusion, I've said housing is a vital economic enabler and has a key role to play in moving from recovery to growth. I've said the housing stimulus package has been a great help and affordable housing has responded, and that local authorities have a key role to play in shaping and delivering the upturn. We've got questions coming. I've suggested a few questions up there. My thoughts to you, my challenge to you, if you like, is not to be afraid of change. A famous Greek said that to the man who is afraid, everything rustles. Affordable housing has a responsibility to embrace change. The economy is at this crucial tipping point. Housing is the sector that could make the difference and lay the basis for growth. Affordable housing is the part of that sector that leads the way, because we have big landlords, we have a long track record of delivery, we have the skills to do it, and the security of funding through a body like the HCA. Now is the time to innovate, if we want to secure the huge progress we've made up to now. Thank you very much.